Welcome everyone. 어서 오세요. Got some interesting things to talk about in light of recent revelations. We'll talk about who in Solana knew about what SBF was doing. And the reason I want to talk about this is that everyone in Solana has magically distanced themselves from FTX Alameda in the past 24 hours. 제가 물론 이 방송하고 싶은 이유는 트위터를 보면 한 3일 전에는 다 솔라나 사람들이 다 벤처 펀드들이 다 뽀글이 FTX Alameda 이제 지원했어요, 트위터하면서. 근데 갑자기 걔네들이 이제 막 FTX Alameda 막 비판하고 막 그래서 저는 그런 이상한 짓 안 하고 저는 그냥 완전 그냥 사실대로 얘기해요. 팩트만 알려줘요. So I tell you straight up how it is, how the game works, what Solana's been up to directly with the FTX Alameda, and who's specifically involved, right? In Solana, right? Knew about all this stuff, right? And that's what we're going to talk about, right? So 정확히 이제 솔라나 중에 어떤 사람들이 이거 알았는지 이제 물론 사람들이 궁금할 거예요. Right? So, there's probably a lot of people who I did notice like a lot of Twitter's on follower sorry, a lot of followers on Twitter who follow me today. 물론 오늘 이제 트위터 팔로우한 사람들이 갑자기 생겼는데 걔네들은 물론 이런 정보 몰랐죠. 근데 우리는 진짜 옛날부터 알고 있었어요. A lot of Twitter followers follow me today. Like I got a lot of new followers, especially from the Solana community. They had no idea that Solana has had a very deep involvement with FTX Alameda, which is very surprising to me because I'm the literal first Solana YouTuber, and that's all this stuff is like years old news. But people want to know exactly how the scam worked, right? And how they worked with Solana, right, to scam you, right? So I'll explain how the whole thing worked. 물론 뭐 오늘 트위터 저희 팔로우한 사람들 많았는데 이제 특히 뭐 솔라나 커뮤니티 사람들이 걔네들이 이제 정확히 얼마나 이 FTX 알메이다가 솔라나랑 친했는지 그거 이제 몰랐어요. 뭐 모르는 척하는 건 뭐 잘 모르겠고 근데 저는 이제 물론 그 사람들 위해 이제 다시 이제 설명해 줄 거예요. 물론 이제 새 정보도 많이 들어왔고 그래서 다 같이 커버할 거예요. So there's a lot of new information of course that came in. Since the last time I looked at all this stuff. Uh, but the people who didn't know about this stuff, obviously, they will be very curious, right? So we'll keep it very brief. Most of it's going to be old information, right? But there's going to be people who are curious, right, about this relationship and who don't know, and how I knew about this stuff a long time ago. Those people are going to be curious. 이 정보 아직 모르는 사람들이 있으니까 궁금하면 물론 같이 보세요. Welcome to the broadcast. 어서 right? So let's just answer some very basic questions and then we'll go to some Solana stuff. 그냥 기본 이제 질문하고 Solana 소식 같이 보겠습니다. Right? 첫 번째 질문은 누가 알았어? So let's start with the first question. Who at Solana knew? 정확히 Solana 사람들 중에 누가 이 FTX Alameda가 사기치는 거 알고 있었어요? Who exactly knew, right? Again, this is very simple, right? It's very simple to find out who knew. 이제 그 답이 진짜 쉬워요. 그냥 돈만 따라가면 돼요. 돈만 따라가면 돼요. You just follow the money. It's very easy to see, right? Where, where all the people who are involved are, right? So obviously, where's the money? It's at the top. 물론 이제 돈이 어디 있어요? 물론 이제 위에부터 시작해야 돼요, right? Everyone, right, at Solana Labs probably knew, right? We don't have access to their internal communications. 얘네들이 이제 걔네들이 뭐 인터넷 같은 거, 뭐 이메일 같은 거 이제 모르는데, 근데 물론 Solana Labs 가장 위 사람들은 다 알고 있어서 very likely that everyone at Solana Labs knew exactly what SBF and FTX Alameda were doing, right? It's very likely, right? Uh, Second group of people who probably knew the people over at Solana Ventures. 물론 이제 Solana Ventures 사람들도 알고 있었을 거예요, right? These guys were involved in all the major deals with FTX Alameda. 이제 얘네들이 다 이제 FTX Alameda 딜을 할 때, 그런 이제 내고할 때 얘네들이 다 같이 있었어요, right? These were the people who were literally in the back, behind the scenes deals with anything involved with FTX Alameda, right? And the interesting thing about this is that there's so many unknown individuals, right? That I marked as unknown. 이제 사람들이 이제 모르는 사람 타인 정확히 누구인지 몰라서 너무 많아서 제가 그냥 이렇게 표시했는데 엄청 많았어요, 그런 사람들이. There are a lot of unknowns, ton of unknowns, right? We don't know exactly who gets in on these deals, right? Because it's not transparent, right? We really don't know, right? So everyone who's closely, involved with Solana Ventures, they knew 100%. 그래서 물론 이제 Solana Ventures이랑 가까운 사람들은 다 알고 있었어. Right? Everyone who was involved with Solana Ventures knew exactly what Sam and the people over at FTX, what those guys were doing, right? The top people at Solana Foundation obviously also knew. The Solana Foundation 위 사람들이 물론 알고 있었어. The top people at Solana Foundation, they very high, likelihood that they knew exactly what SBF was doing over at FTX and the people over at FTX Alameda, right? 그래서 이 얘네들도 물론 확률이 되게 높아요, right? Obviously, everyone at Alameda, they knew about it, right? So all the names here, these guys are the ones who are going to be in the most trouble, right? 물론 얘네들이 가장 이제 위험할 거고, 이제 얘네들은 Alameda 이니까. So there's a lot of people who are very closely associated, right, with Alameda. And those guys all knew exactly what they were doing. 이제 Alameda 사람들 이 내부자들이 다 알고 있었어, right? So the next big group of people who knew what was going to happen 이제 알고 있는 사람들은 물론 FTX랑 관련 있는 사람들이 다 알고 있었어, right? Anyone who's over at FTX, they knew this stuff, right, was happening, and they were directly involved 100%. 100% 돼요. 100% 얘네들이 다 알고 있었어, right? So these people over at FTX, obviously, right? Obviously, they've been dealing with Sam for a very long time. 진짜 긴 시간 동안 이제 뽀글이랑 이제 일했었으니까 물론 뽀글이가 어떤 사람인지 잘 알고 있어. 엄청 잘 알고 있어. These people all knew what SBF was doing, right? So I'm gonna pause here, right, to make a special observation about this. 여기 잠깐 멈출게요. 이제 물론 FTX 알메다가 이제 터져서 뭐 여기 직원들이 엄청 많아. 여기 FTX에. 그래서 되게 희한한 거 오늘 봤는데 the interesting thing that I noticed about the response from the FTX community, the people who are employees, right, or people who are very closely associated with FTX, they all basically had the same story, and that is really interesting. 예, FTX 사람들이 다 똑같은 말했어. 우리는 뽀글이 이상한 짓 하는지 몰랐다고. 그건 전혀 사실 아니야. 직원들도 다 알고 있었어. 다 알고 있었어. 왜냐면 첫 솔라나 유튜버가 2021 년부터 알고 있었으면 물론 내부자들은 그전에보다 훨씬 더 알고 있었어. Think about it this way. Despite the claims of people over at FTX, right, and the people closest to FTX and the people associated with FTX, so their official stance, right? All these employees, right, from FTX, they're coming out and they're disavowing Sam. They're claiming that they don't know what's going on, right? 이제 FTX 직원들이 다 "나는 몰랐다. 뭐 전혀 몰랐다. 뽀글이가 완전 미친놈이야." 다 그렇게 반응해요. Everyone over at FTX is responding like that. It's 100. Let me say this unequivocally. 이거 분명히 말씀해야 돼요. It's 100% complete bullshit. It's complete horseshit. Everyone at FTX knew exactly what Sam was doing, and they knew what he was doing with his Alameda connections. Everyone knew. If I knew it, and I literally just get my information right online, and I was talking about this stuff back in 2021, everyone fucking knew. Everyone over at FTX knew, right? Obviously, right, they've got to cover for themselves the best they can, right? Because the SEC is going to get involved. A lot of people are going to get involved in lawsuits. 물론 이제 고소 많이 당할 거예요. 그래서 뭐 고소 당하면 물론 얘네들이 뭐 다 그렇게 뭐 몰랐던 척 해야죠. 얘네들이 고소 당할 거니까. So there are gonna be a lot of lawsuits, of course, right? So they all have claimed that they had no idea what Sam was doing. 이제 뭐 뽀글이 난 전혀 뭐 뽀글이 이럴 줄 알았다, 몰랐다 다 그렇게 말하는데 얘네들 다 알았어. Another group that all knew exactly what FTX Alameda was doing. 얘네들도 다 알고 있었어. 다 알고 있었어. Serum 사람들이 다 알고 있었어. Everyone over at Serum is highly likely that they knew what FTX Alameda was doing because FTX Alameda is Serum. And I've said this many times. There's no difference between FTX Alameda and Serum, right? It's all the same people. 이제 Serum 사람들이 누구인지 몰랐으면 FTX Alameda 사람이 다 똑같아요. 다 똑같아요. So did they know? Did the Serum people knew? Did the Serum people know what FTX Alameda was doing? Of course, they knew 100%. 물론 Serum 사람들이 다 알고 있었어. All the top people at Serum knew 100%, right? And of course, there's a last group. There's a final group of people, right, who knew what Sam was doing. 이제 마지막 사람들은 물론 이제 벤처 펀드였어, right? There's so many people involved in Solana and the VC side of things who have they're privy to information much faster than we are. 이제 Solana 같은 경우는 이제 VC 체인이니까 큰 펀들이 우리보다 훨씬 더 일찍 알고 있었어. 뽀글이가 뭐 하는지. All the big funds knew exactly what Sam was doing right over there with the FTX Alameda. They always get their information before retail, right? Because they all talk to each other. 얘네들이 서로 다 얘기해요. They all talk to each other, right? So that's a very simple answer for who knew exactly what SBF was doing. 그래서 정확히 뽀글이가 뭐 하는지 이제 궁금했으면 FTX Alameda가 뭐 했는지 궁금하면 그 사람들이 다 알았어. 그 사람들이 다 알았어, right? 그래서 when exactly did they know? I just told you a long time ago. For many years they knew. 그래서 언제 얘네들이 알고 있었어? 뽀글이가 그런 이상한 짓 하는지. 제가 10월 2021년부터 알고 있었는데 그래서 이 경고했는데 I was just a YouTuber, right? And I knew what FTX Alameda was doing back in October 27th, 2001. And I specifically named Alameda. I don't know how much clearer I can make this, spell this out for you, right? In terms of we knew that Sam was doing all this sketchy shit, right? We all knew. 이제 얼마나 더 정확히 이거 알려줄 수 있는지 모르겠어요. 여기에 이제 알라메다가 표시돼 있으면 뭐 제가 뭐 더 뭐 설명할 수 있어요? 뭐 설명할 수 있어요? Right? So of course FTX, of course everyone knew this for many years, right? For many years, right? Everyone in Solana knew this, right? Because I told everyone in Solana, right? I literally told everyone in Solana, Alameda is up to no good, right? You should not be letting Alameda in on all these deals, right? 그래서 제가 옛날부터 경고했고 솔라나 사람들한테 다 똑같이 경고했어. 알메이다가 왜 얘네들이 seed round 들어오는지. 그래서 여기 표시했어요. Right? I literally listed Alameda here, right? For everyone to see, right? I told everyone in Solana, right? Everyone in Solana, so you can see, right, knew about this shit, right? Back in October, at least, right? By this date when I'm, had this broadcast. 작년 10월 2021년에는 물론 사람들이 다 알고 있었어. 물론 사람들이 다 알고 있었어. 예, 이때부터는 무조건 알고 있었어. 왜냐면 제가 방송했었으니까. Everyone knew because I fucking broadcasted this shit back in October, 100%, right? So what exactly did they know, right? Other than some kind of vague, idea of Sam doing weird, sketchy shit. 그래서 뭐 정확히 얘네들이 뭐 알았어. 그냥 물론 뭐 일반적으로 뭐 벤처들이 이상한 짓 하는 것보다 걔네들이 정확히 더 뭐 알고 있었어. 추가로 뭐 알고 있었어. So what beyond just this type of very basic analysis of the fact that VCs are all sketchy, right? What exactly did they know, right? They knew about deals like this, right? 그 사람들이 이제 이런 딜 하는 거 알고 있었어. 이 사람들이 다. 이제 렌하고 알라메이다가 왜 이 렌 브리지를 이제 얻었어. 여기 이제 설명해 줄게요. 여기 보세요. 이제 사기이고 FTX Alameda가 이제 자산을 이 브리지로 들어오는 자산을 훔쳐가는 거야. 그래서 걔네들이 이제 바하마스에 걔네들이 따로 비밀 계정 있고 그래서 그 렌 브리지 예를 들면 이제 그 렌 브리지 자체가 이제 솔라나로 만들었을 때 물론 이 솔라나 안에서도 가장 어이없는 사람들이 이 맥클리나 형제들이 그 이제 브리지를 만든 거예요. 그래서 물론 그건 뭐 우연히 그렇게 된 거 아니죠. 일부러 이제 펀들이 그런 인프라를 만들면서 자기 가방으로 몰래 이제 훔쳐가려고 그런 이제 그렇게 만든 거예요. 그렇게 첫 일부터 그렇게 이제 계획 짠 거예요. The funds, right? It's not a coincidence that the funds who are behind the Macalinos who developed this Ren bridge, which I actually covered on my channel. 되게 웃긴 건 제가 이거 커버했었어요. 저희 채널에. This is the funny thing. I actually covered the Ren BTC. This is the first BTC bridge on Solana, right? And I actually covered it, right? And it was the Saber team that made that bridge. They were the guys behind it. I actually covered it, right? 제가 이거 커버했어. So I'll tell you when I covered it, right? Covered it a long time ago. 옛날부터 이거 커버했었어, right? Uh, this was back in when was this? 언제였지? 7월이었어요. 작년 7월이었어요. Right? This was back in July of 2021, right? So I covered this actually on my channel. But what was the actual purpose? 근데 실제 목적이 왜 이 브리지를 만들었어? 이제 FTX 알라메다가 이제 물론 이제 들어오는 돈 걔네들이 이제 관리할 수 있으니까. So these types of scams that FTX Alameda were pulling off, right? It's been you know these types of things have been common knowledge for everyone who's involved, right, with FTX Alameda. 이제 이 FTX Alameda 사람들이 이런 거 다 알고 있었어. 이제 뭐 크립토 인프라 만드는 척하면서 실제로는 물론 이제 이 브리지 오퍼레이터들이 걔네들이 이제 다 컨트롤할 수 있어. 물론 언제든지 훔쳐갈 수 있어. 이 사람들이. Right. So the last thing I want to talk about is 마지막 부분은 뭐 나중에 얘네들이 뭐 어떻게 되는지. Most likely 이제 거의 뭐 이제 가장 높은 상황은 뭐 거의 뭐 큰 뭐 벌 같은 건 없을 거예요. 이 사람들이. Right. Uh, the most likely outcome for most of these people in Solana, they're going to try to distance themselves, right, as much as they can from SBF. 이제 뽀글이랑 이제 거리를 이제 만들 거고 이제 Solana 사람들이. 걔네들이 뭐 "나는 뭐 아무것도 몰랐다."고 뭐 그렇게 다 할 거예요. Right? People, right, in Solana who knew, right, what SBF was up to, they're gonna distance themselves. They need plausible deniability, of course, 100%. So it'll be kind of hard. It's very murky, right, to pin them down. Uh, and that's my guess, right? 아, 정확히 솔라나 누구인지 누구누구였는지 이제 미사람들이 누구 알았는지 그거 이제 찾기가 조금 어려울 거예요. 조금 어려울 거예요. So, I don't think anything big really will happen to anyone in Solana, but who knows? Who knows what could happen to the people, right? Who are behind it. 뭐 나중에 얘네들이 뭐 어떻게 되는지 뭐 저도 잘 모르겠어요. 계속 지켜봐야 돼요. Right? Just got to keep on watching and see what happens, right? So that's how the scam worked, right? Literally everything FTX Alameda was behind. They had a way to take your funds one way or another. And that's how it is. 그래서 그냥 이제 간단히 다시 말하면 이제 크립토 인프라 만들면서 탈중앙 뭐 하는 척하면서 실제는 이런 큰 펀드들이 자기 돈을 이제 훔쳐가려고 그냥 만든 거예요. Right? That's all it was. It was a giant scam. Right? 큰 사기였어. Right? So that is basically right. It's very old news. It's been old news for many years. Everyone knows this, but people on Twitter are acting like they had no idea what Sam and FTX was like or what they were up to. So I gotta set the record straight. 물론 이제 트위터 보면 뭐 다들 뭐 뽀글이가 이런 나쁜 새끼였는지 뭐 전혀 몰랐다고 뭐 다 그런 샬샬 그런 개소리 하니까 물론 저는 솔직히 말해야 돼요. Right? 100% everyone knew what was happening. So I gotta, I gotta set the record straight. And now you know, right, what was happening or what was going on, right? All right. So that's the deal. Boy, 어서 오세요. 어서 오세요. 이거 많이 궁금했죠? 그래서 듣고 있죠? Right? There's people obviously who are curious, so they're listening, right? 네, 기분 나쁘면 네, 물론 아쉽죠. 물론 아쉽죠. 근데 저는 뭐 그냥 솔직히 얘기해 주는 거예요. 뭐도 좋은 정보 이제 많이 얻고 싶으니까. I feel sorry if you got hurt from all this, right? If FTX Alameda fucked you, but that's how it is. That's how it is, right? Solana was very close, right, to FTX Alameda. They knew everyone in Solana knew. I knew. We all knew. 우리 Solana 사람들이 다 알고 있었어. So, the other funny thing that I'm sure people, right, who are watching this now 이제 물론 하나 더 이제 좀 웃기는 거 있는데 사람들이 뭐 "너는 소울스가 소울인데 너는 이런 거 다 알고 있었으면서 뭐 했어 그럼? 2년 동안?" So, I'm sure they're critics, right, of me, right, who are thinking like, "So you knew all this shit, and then what were you doing for 2 years?" Well, I mean, my answer to that is very simple. 저희 대답은 되게 간단해요. I was literally warning people about shit that was going on in Solana for the past year. 작년 동안 제가 계속 경고 엄청 많이 했어요. 경고 많이 했어요. 그리고 Solana 프로젝트 공식적으로 뭐 안 하고 어 다른 프로젝트 공식적으로 추천 안 하고 그냥 이제 거의 거래만 하고 Solana 소식만 거부했었어. So I took the necessary steps very early on for me to preserve my credibility in Solana by not endorsing right these projects anymore because I very quickly realized like what was actually going on in Solana, which is why I stopped making official endorsements on my channel because I knew they would be bad and I knew they would come back to haunt me. But that's what I've been doing. I've been warning people in Solana, right? Trying to help them save money in Solana, and just having fun with my community trading Soul, right? 이제 저희 커뮤니티랑 재밌게 놀고 Solana 거래 뭐 같이 하면서 Solana 소식도 커버하고, right? Covering Solana news, obviously. Nothing's changed. Literally, nothing's changed. That's all I've been doing for 2 years. 뭐 변화 하나도 없어. 진짜 2년 동안 그냥 똑같은 거만 했었어요 지금까지. Right? So my old timers, nothing's changed. Literally nothing's changed. 우리 단골들은 잘 알아요. 뭐 아무것도 뭐 바뀐 거 없어. Right? You guys have been with me from day one. 처음부터 저랑 있었으니까 뭐 물론 잘 알아요. Right? You guys all know this, but I'm sure there's gonna be people who are curious, right? A lot of people are gonna be curious, right? 물론 궁금한 사람들이 많을 거예요. Right? So there you go. That is what you guys wanted to know. So I've given you everything that you wanted to know, right? Um, I don't know exactly what's gonna happen to Solana after this. 나중에 뭐 솔라나가 어떻게 되는지 뭐 전혀 몰라요. 진짜 전혀 몰라요. I hope Solana recovers. I don't know if Solana is gonna recover, but I hope Solana recovers. It will take some time for sure. 이제 솔라나가 뭐 당연히 이제 회복됐으면 좋겠는데 전혀 모르겠어. Right? I will be hanging out here with you guys a little bit more, a little bit longer, and then we will wrap it up. 여기 조금 더 같이 놀고 끝날게요. Let me take a quick look at the charts here. 간단히 여기 차트 보고 끝날게요. Definitely will be useful to see what's going on in the Solana chart, right? 뭐 정확히 뭐 Solana 지금 뭐 어떻게 되는지 같이 볼게요. What exactly is going on? Have we gone to zero? 영어로 가는지 한번 볼게요. Okay, so nothing, absolutely nothing in the charts. 뭐 차트는 뭐 아무것도 없네요. Yeah, nothing's going on here. 뭐 차트는 뭐 뭐 바뀐 거 없네요. All right, hang in there. Stay safe trading. Um, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, right? 완전 거래하면서 뭐 다 알아서 잘 거래하세요, right? I know I started a little bit earlier than usual. 원래 방송보다 제가 조금 더 일찍 시작한 거 뭐 아는데 for the people who tune in later and watch the replay, enjoy the broadcast, right? 나중에 replay 보는 사람들 재밌게 보세요, right? I don't see any questions, or I don't see any questions, so 솔라나 몇 개 가지고 있어요. 저는 지금 그 다른 거래소에 조금 있고 저희 문 가방에 있는 것도 있고 그래서 저는 지금 그냥 기다리고 있어. 더 내려갈 때 구매할 거예요. Right? I haven't gone in back on my moon bags, of course. I'll probably wait to see if we go down lower until I buy in with my moon bags and then buy in a little bit later. Right? If we go lower, 혹시라도 더 내려가면 그때 제가 더 구매할 건데 지금은 뭐 많이는 없어. Right? Just too much uncertainty. I'm trying to preserve capital. That's my strategy. 지금 이런 시장에 너무 애매하고 뭐 Alameda FTX가 뭐 걔네들이 얼마나 슬로나 아직 있는지 뭐 그런 거 이제 잘 모르니까 저는 되게 보수적으로 계속 거래할 거예요. 투자하고. Right? I'm gonna play it conservative, right? 보수적으로 계속 할 거예요. 저희 같은 경우는. Um, yeah, that is it for me. That is it for me. Uh, yeah, that's it for me. 뭐 다른 뭐 큰 소환 소식 없으니까. That is it. Take care. Good evening. 좋은 밤 보내세요, 여러분.